Hello, my name is Volodymir Grinchenko. I'm a pastor at the Waldorf Seventh-day Adventist Church here in Maryland. And I want to tell you a story how my church did the fundraising for a very important building project that we always wanted to accomplish. The Waldorf Seventh-day Adventist Church was trying to build a new church facility, a sanctuary for worship for over 20 years. The problem was that people who are coming to the church, they don't fit anymore in the present sanctuary. The present sanctuary seating capacity is only for 100 people, but we have about 200 people coming for the worship services every Sabbath. So what we're trying to do right now, we have 2 church services to accommodate 100 at each and a Sabbath school in the middle between 2 church services. So what should we do in order to make the project happen? Pastors changed, plans changed, everything evolved, and never church actually had a chance to build the new facility because of this one problem. And the problem was, do we have enough money? Where can we get finances for the project? First thing what we did before dealing with finances is actually reviving the building committee. We filled the building committee with members who were excited about the project, who really wanted to see it happen after so many years of waiting. After putting a building committee together and making our goals clear, we started interviewing general contractors, architects, and we're trying to see how practically the goals and the vision that the church had could be put on a paper, and we could visualize the facility that will be built in the future. After doing all this, now we had in hands valid numbers, a budget that we needed to have in order to make this project happen. After we looked at all the numbers that we had now, we understood clearly that there is no way that we have or will have this money in order to build the new facility. So how do we do the fundraising? Where do we get the money in order to accomplish the dream and the need of the church that we have? We started doing our research. And of course, we went to the North American division and learned about the PSI, a special department in the North American division that is responsible to help different institutions in our church with fundraising. After contacting Dr. Lilia Wagner, she sent me for some training, some conferences. Particularly one was in Indianapolis. After receiving the vast information about the fundraising and how it's done the right way and different problems that you meet while you're doing fundraising, we decided that now it's time to actually try it and to adopt the principle of fundraising for our local church to make sure that it will work for the best of the church and the community around. Well, we went back to the building committee, we reviewed all the information, we tried to do our best to do the fundraising, but we understood that maybe it is not the best way to involve the building committee in the fundraising. So instead, we designed a new committee that we entitled a stewardship committee. On the stewardship committee, we placed strategically very important, influential members who would be a great help for this project. The stewardship committee did a lot of work to make the capital campaign and the fundraising really happening and coming into reality for the Waldorf Seventh-day Adventist Church. The very first thing that we did is we designed the vision of who we are as a church. Why do we need this project? Why it is so important for us? And if people would go an extra mile and donate an extra money, why would they do that? So we designed a logo, growing, living, building together. We were already a growing church. We were already living together and doing a lot of events, but the third part we were lacking. We were not yet building. And the building part was actually getting in the way of the church keep on growing and keep on living together, and for Jesus and for enjoyment of each other. After that, we looked what it will take to raise us the specific amount that we're lacking to build the new facility. After all the calculations and all the wise people speaking and trying to put their heads together, we learned that if we will get some participation from the church, for the 3-year pledge drive, we will be able to raise a significant amount of money that will help us to start the project and to finish the project. After that, we understood that it's time to move forward and make a public presentation. But before doing the public presentation, we needed to have a case statement that we can present to the public. In a case statement, we described of who we are as a church, first as a denomination. After describing who are Seventh-day Adventists, we described who we are as a Waldorf Seventh-day Adventist church and why we are so important in a local community where God already has placed us. After finalizing the case statement, we were ready to appeal to the local leaders of the church first. Before asking any member, we wanted to make sure that leaders will be on board, they will be informed, and they would be this icebreaker who would go first in contributing to the project. We had a special social. It was fun. We presented the whole project to the leaders. People were excited. And after that, we gave them pledge cards. Yes, pledge cards. Pledge cards were something new for our church. We never used them before. Personally, as a pastor, I never heard about pledge cards either. But we tried to use them and to see how would it help people to contribute and to dedicate a certain amount for the project. Pledge cards had the minimum information, a name of the person, also the amount that they want to contribute, and of course it will total up to how much they will contribute in the end of the pledge. On the back of the card, there was also a chart showing different gift amounts that people would not be thinking, well, I cannot contribute $100,000 or $300,000, so probably I won't participate at all. No, we had even small gift amounts mentioned there that people would see that it's actually affordable and they can do it, and their participation is still valued even they cannot contribute a lot. After giving away all the pledge cards to leaders, I did something important and also difficult for me. After praying and reading the Bible, my wife and I, we decided that we need to open up our financial life to our leaders, as well as the whole church later on during the public phase of the campaign, and tell them how much we will personally contribute to the project. So when all the leaders received their pledge cards, my wife and I will announce that we will contribute a specific amount to this project, and this amount actually was given to us by God. We prayed about it, we discussed it, and we felt that it was the right number. Of course, I can tell you that the amount that I announced to my leaders was a challenge for me, because honestly, even when I was announcing it to my leaders, I couldn't believe myself that we can actually do it, that for the period of 3 years, we can contribute that much money to the project. It was a great encouragement for the leaders, and leaders went out of their way in a sacrificial spirit and gave a lot for the Lord in order to see this project accomplished. After collecting all the leaders' data and how much we got contributions from leaders alone, we went to the church. We had a special sermon series presenting Nehemiah and him building the wall for the Lord. Also, we spoke about finances, how it is important for us not only to take care of our families and ourselves, but also sacrificially giving to the Lord for His mission and the local church. We then presented a pledge drive. Now, the pledge drive and its presentation in church was very interesting. Not only I shared my experience of how I will contribute to the project, but also different leaders spoke up and they testified how the Lord spoke to their hearts specifically and why they want to contribute to the project. I even shared how much I make every month, and I showed my tithe and different offerings, and on top of that, I showed to my members how my wife and I particularly will contribute to the project. It was amazing. The reaction from the members of the church was beyond any expectation. Well, of course, not all 100% of involvement was in the church. We had about 70 to 80% of all members pledging and participating in the pledge drive. And right now, this fall, we're finishing our 3-year pledge drive with the numbers that we have. By the way, the numbers are looking very good. We were able to get up to 80%, maybe even a little bit more, of all the finances that were pledged. People, the members of the church, actually people that are outside of the church, not members of the Waldorf Seventh-day Adventist Church, also contributed to the project because they really bought into the idea of what we're trying to build. Our project has 4 phases. First phase is the sanctuary, which is the front building that is very close to the present sanctuary. Second phase is a social center that will have a full-size gym, we'll have a commercial-sized kitchen, and also 8 to 10 classrooms that could be used for the Christian education, for a small school to start with. And the last third and fourth phases are for the academy. It will have about 40 classrooms that could be used to teach kids. So the idea was magnificent, and we knew that only with God's help we can do it. Now at this day, I'm ready to tell you that the project went very well. In fact, you could see that there is some progress on the site we're having right now in Waldorf. The new parking lot is expanded, the foundation is being poured in this week, and the masonry work will start next week. We are planning to finish this project in December of this year, or maybe January of 2015 of next year, the latest. So it will be an amazing project to praise God for when it's done, and we're very excited about it. I want to tell you also a very important thing that I hope will be an encouragement for you. Quite often, pastors, myself as well, and all the leaders think, well, if we will do fundraising, the membership will drop, people will be offended that they ask to give even more money than tithe and the offering, and also the finances will drop. People will just start giving their tithe towards the building project, and we will just have everything going down. Well, it's not true. At least wasn't true in my church. The membership went up significantly, and we had more than 20 members increase overall for the time of the pledge drive. Also, we had an increase in tithe and in offering. We were able to raise in cash over $500,000. It's a big number, but I would just want to tell you that for the 20 years before that, when church was raising the money without the pledge drive, without the fundraising appeal, church was able to raise less than $100,000 for the period of 20 years. So decide for yourself. I think it was a blessing for the church. It helped church to grow. It helped church to collect the money. And now we are finishing up the project that we dreamed about for so many years. I hope you will consider doing the same thing in your church. I'm confident that it could be a blessing for you as a pastor and also for your members. Thank you.